What's up, everybody? Yo, yo, yo.
What up?
It is week 6 of college football. Happy to be back. Will,
Yes,
how's
sir.
your week going this week?
It's going good, man. Started my first week on the job, student pastor at Quest. Just
Sweet.
dipping my feet right in. Got my first Sunday this Sunday. But first, I'm looking forward to a great weekend of college football. Even though the Gamecocks aren't playing, I'm really excited for some of the matchups we had this weekend.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Man, last week, dude, was a blast. You end up taking me to the Carolina Kentucky game, and
Yes, sir.
man, those seats. We were in the end zone, section 14, and it was solid. Like, I'll think anytime I try to go back, that'll be my go-to section. But
Dude, they were
crazy
elite.
environment.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
we sat right behind Seller's granddad. Didn't even know till after the
Yeah,
game. We found out after Kentucky's running back decided to throw a football at his face.
yeah, yeah. I remember that. I was sitting right there, and we're just like, "Ooh, like that wasn't cool." And everybody was mad, and everybody tried to keep the football, and
Mm-hmm.
just kept on, going back and forth with
Dude,
the refs. Eventually, the cop came down and was like, "You got to give the ball back." So, kind of
I think
disappointed,
the
but
Kentucky, I think the Kentucky ball boys took the brunt of that more than the running back did. Honestly,
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Absolutely. But yeah, crowd was electric. It was one of the more
mm,
fun games I've been to in a while. So it was awesome. Had a blast. Shout out to my boy Will for hooking me up.
yes,
So
sir.
um but yeah, week 6 college football. Um Carolina's not playing this week. LSU is also not playing this week, but I do
Oh,
have tickets to go to that game next weekend down in Baton
very nice.
Rouge. So I'm kind of
Hey,
looking forward to that. So
I actually feel like I still think we probably lose, but I do have a
yeah.
better feeling about that game because LSU has not looked great lately, and South Carolina had a decent show. I mean, it was Kentucky, but
Yeah.
we did look good. We look like we figured some things out, so maybe we can make it
Right.
competitive.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is like our Oklahoma week where we come out and just like
Mm-hmm.
absolutely just turn our season around. That was like our game last year. Oklahoma fully expected to lose that game. I don't even think I watched it until halftime because I was like, I'm not watching this massacre.
Mm-hmm.
I just I can't do it. So, but yeah, looking forward to it. Excited to be there. Excited to be in that environment. Happy to just take my wife and be able to enjoy that game with her. And I know she's excited, so we'll see how that goes.
Yes,
So,
sir. Absolutely.
anywho, quick picks. We'll jump right into it. Let me get our graphic going. I kind of do all the graphics, so maybe multitasking. Logan, little side
Um,
note. Logan is actually at a camp out with the youth group of our church. So shout out to him for being with those college or excuse me those teenagers and just facilitating
mm,
really that what you want to call it that activity for the youth group. So we appreciate him being out there with our teens and pouring in them. But anyways, with that quick picks, we'll jump right into it. Georgia versus Kentucky. Georgia is a 20 and a half point favorite. It's at Georgia. Will, what you got?
yeah, I think this one's pretty simple. On paper, I was talking with my buddy Luke earlier. He's a big Georgia fan, and he made me a little nervous, just in the sense of he was talking like he's a little nervous just because Kentucky they always play up to Georgia's level, and so he's a little nervous because they said Kentucky always plays like an NFL team when they play Georgia. But I think this is pretty simple with Georgia this week. Kentucky's not a very good football team as we saw last week, so give me the dogs by a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's at Georgia. It's a home game. Georgia just came off a loss against Alabama. They're looking for revenge. They're looking to bounce back and just make a statement in the SEC. I don't think this one's gonna be very pretty. So give me the spread. I'll take the spread all day on that. Kentucky's still trying to
Absolutely.
find their way. don't think Kentucky's a bad team. They're just trying to figure out their offensive identity. That quarterback last week really got hit a couple too many times, struggled for sure. I could see Georgia probably adopting the same game plan and trying to go after the quarterback early, make him make mistakes, throw picks, fumble, and just
Yeah.
make him run around the pocket. So I could see that going that way again. Georgia, for sure, great pick. Holly gave us a quick shout out. My
Hey.
daughter is currently playing in the woods, and she's being sus. Hopefully,
Ooh.
sus in a good way. But
Mm.
I think they're playing probably capture flag or something in that game, or Among Us. I don't even know what that means. But
Maybe.
anywho, quick appreciate that, Holly. Hopefully, this is Ella's first camp out. I was willing to go last night and set up her tent and get her all ready, but she was a trooper and she wanted to do it herself. So proud of her for wanting to do it and just
Respect to Ella.
get the full experience. So also, Justin Doan says the red team wins. So
It's
yeah,
probably smart.
I definitely see that happening. So anywho, moving on, Clemson versus North Carolina. Not so sure. North Carolina's a team that we expected them to be with Belichick at the helm. Just too many transfers, just not meshing like they should. Clemson's a 14.5-point favorite. It is at North Carolina, but ESPN has them at a 77.5% chance of winning this game. Pretty good odds, in my opinion. Will, what you got?
Yeah, this one I think it'll be pretty good early. Maybe through about a quarter and a half. And that's only because I don't trust Clemson right now. I'm actually really nervous to take Clemson in this one, just on the sole fact that I've taken Clemson 3 times this year and lost all of those. I wouldn't put it past Belichick as a coach to pull out a game like this. I do think if Belichick in North Carolina loses this, not that I think Dabo needs to be ran out of town, but if they lose to North Carolina, there's going to be real fire under the seat of Dabo. But I think they just have way too much talent. Like, they can't keep losing. They have to win games like this when they're a superior favorite. So give me Clemson this week for a rebound and get a little momentum behind them.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I kind of heard a hot take this week is if Dabo continues on this trend of losing this season, who would replace him? And the name that was brought up was Dan Lanning from Oregon, and just was like kind of
I don't
surprised by
think so.
that. So yeah, I agree. The buyout would be astronomical, and then the things that is doing as a program, as far as like facilities upgrades and like all
Mm-hmm.
the donors they have, like they can continue to win because they just have that supply of money just flowing in.
Absolutely.
The founder of Nike is a huge supporter of that program, so I
Yeah.
don't see Dan Lanning going anywhere unless he just wants to come back home. I don't know. So, but yeah, I'm with you on that. Clemson, and this is a quick pick, so I'm going too long. Clemson, I think Dabo has a good week. Belichick, just not seeing it, not this early. Maybe next year for Belichick, but not this year. So, give me
Mm-hmm.
Clemson for sure. So, Holly updating me on my daughter. She said sus in a good way, fun way. Thank you.
Mm.
Appreciate that. So I'm sure she is. So I'm happy she's out there. It's kind of bittersweet. We used to be out there with
Mm.
with you guys. With you guys.
Yeah.
I was a counselor with you and Logan. So now
True.
it's come full circle. And so my daughter's in the youth group and I'm glad she's having fun. So these are memories she'll never forget. So thank you guys
Absolutely.
for being a light in her life. So moving on, Virginia at Louisville. Virginia, after that win against Florida State last week, is ranked number 24. I didn't see the spread on. Actually, you told me the spread. It was like what, five
Six
and
and
a
a
half,
half. Six
six
and a
and a
half.
half. Louisville is favored to win in this actually by 56%, according to ESPN's prediction calculator. So, Will, what you think? What you got?
Yeah, I think Virginia is a very sneaky team this year. They're not going to blow you away necessarily in all the metrics, but I think they're very solid. very based in what they believe. Their coach has them playing in very smart football right now. I like Louisville, but I think that they really haven't been tested to this point. I think Virginia's quarterback Morris is a good passer of the ball. He's smart. He doesn't make mistakes a
Yeah,
lot. They
yeah,
can run the
for sure.
football. The running back has almost 400 rushing yards already. So I think Virginia rides the momentum from Florida State and gets a big win against the Louisville team this week. So give me Virginia this week.
Man, I feel you there. I feel you there. I think Virginia's atmosphere was very, how do you say this? It allowed the game to have momentum in a way that was conducive for Virginia. And we saw that. I mean, we at one point we thought one of Florida State's wide receivers got ran over after the game was over because that crowd. I'm talking like that student section hit that field as
Mm,
soon as that ball was dropped. Like I was
yeah.
like, oh my goodness! Like, and them dudes are running for their lives, like running for their
Mm-hmm.
lives. So, um, I'm going to take Louisville in this game. This is not my upset
Oh,
pick of the week, but I'm going to take Louisville in this game. I'm going to stick with experience. I'm going to stick with a program that has been um, in the higher rankings in the past couple of years. You know, Louisville's always been a program that's been top of the ACC ish at times. So I'm gonna go Louisville. I don't really have
all right.
a good reason why, but I just feel
Yeah.
like it's a quick pick, and I'm gonna stick with ESPN. So I'm gonna go with Louisville. So I'm gonna take that one
Like
there.
it.
Matt McGowan's comment. He said there's a buzz around Louisville for this game. I'm feeling that buzz. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling
Mm.
that buzz. I feel like Louisville. Um, is going to take this one, knock Virginia back down and it's at Louisville too. So I think that's going to play a
Mm.
momentum swing as well. So, yeah, definitely Louisville on this one. With that being said, Justin Doan's with me. He's got Louisville. Me and Justin are on the same
Of course
page.
it does.
Um, yeah. Hey, listen,
Justin never agrees with me.
Florida could be sneaky good this week against Texas. We'll see.
It,
We'll get there in a second. We'll get there. But with that being said, moving on to our next segment. Awesome segment for Mr. Will O'Brien. It is our dumpster fire of the week. So, Mr. Will,
whoop.
what you got for dumpster fire of the week?
Yeah, I think there was really only one option this week. There wasn't a lot of like crazy things going on last week. The only thing that really stood out to me was Arkansas. Just a really bad offensive game, and that's not like them. Like they've been improving on offense, doing a lot better. I was talking with my dad earlier, and he said he read something about that Arkansas fans are saying it's a coup that Petrino did that on purpose so he could get Pittman out of there, so he could become the
Oh,
next
yeah.
head coach.
I can see that.
So I'm not big on conspiracy theories. I could see it, but I'm not gonna go there. But they did get Pittman fired. The program is in a pretty bad state right now, which I don't think they're even the worst football team in the SEC anymore.
Mm-mm.
But I have my thoughts on that, but I'm not going to go there this week. But anyways, there was really a butt whooping Notre Dame put on them. I thought about maybe going Georgia just in the sense of they kind of coached and played themselves out of that win last week at the end. Stupid penalties and bad coaching decisions instead of taking points and being risky lost them that game. But overall, I think getting a coach fired and just taking it on the chin like they did last week, it had to be Arkansas for dumpster fire of the week this week.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I think for that program to have some pretty good hype with the returning quarterback and just some of their talent they had. Omega Blake, former Carolina
Mm.
guy, is their leading receiver on that team. Um, and just to see them fall off like they have is kind of sad. So, hey, I petition for Sam Pittman to be our new offensive line coach. So, get him to Carolina. Get him to Carolina and take over offensive line. So,
It'll never happen, but I want it.
yeah, yeah. I agree. It'll never happen. I agree. So with
I
that being
agree with
said, love it. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying I agree with you. I would love to see it. Absolutely.
It's about time we at Carolina need to make some big time hires. Like we got to get these guys that are tried and true, proven, can come into our program and know what it takes to turn it around with different areas of our. I mean, our offensive line has been bad for years and years and years. Like
True.
something's got to change. So I think we need to make a change there. Anyways, moving on. Upset pick of the week. And so this has been a difficult one because a lot of the games I wanted to pick as upsets we're already calling those games. So I'm still thinking about it. I'm going to let Will take over the helm on this. Where are you at on upset pick?
Yeah, there were only really three games that I found that were even on the radar for me. I thought about New Mexico over who are they playing? New Mexico over whoever they're
Uh,
playing. Um, Let me go look at it
Wasn't
real
it
quick.
like Fresno or
It was
Kent? Fresno,
San Jose State. New Mexico over San Jose State. That's what
one of
it
those.
was. And then I also thought about Wake Forest over Virginia Tech. I think that was sneaky.
Yeah,
They looked good against Georgia Tech. Honestly, Virginia Tech
should have
won the
won.
game against Georgia Tech last week. They should have won in the record books,
Wake,
but
Wake, yeah, Wake Forest.
Wake Forest. But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
refs screwed them, and I mean, dude was halfway to the quarterback, and before the ball snapped, and they didn't call it. And if they call that, then it's first down for Wake Forest, and they can run the clock out games. But anyways, I digress. My upset pick of the week this week, I'm gonna go with the Maryland Terrapins over the
Okay.
Washington Huskies. I think that Maryland's a sneaky team this year. I don't think they'll go much further. I think their schedule's going to catch up to them a little bit. But I like
Yeah,
them because they're at home, and I like their quarterback. Already over 1,000 passing yards. They're doing a lot of good things. They're playing well on defense. They're a very sound team. They tackle well. They stay in their lanes. They're not flashy, but they're just fundamental. And I think that
right.
they have what it takes to beat a Washington team that is good, but is not super talented like we've seen in the past. So I'm
Yeah.
going to take Maryland to beat Washington, and Washington is a 5.5 point favorite in that. I think Maryland covers. I'm gonna call it Maryland covers. So
Okay, okay. Yeah, I like it. So, with my pick of the week, I was very optimistic in this category with Houston. Connor Wegman, former Texas A&M quarterback, has had a good year. Houston's 4-0, Texas Tech's 4-0. I'm going to pick Houston to beat Virginia Tech this week. I
wow,
think, yeah, I know, kind of crazy, right? I think Texas Tech is going to go into this game kind of big headed. They're kind of like a Moneyball team that kind of came together in one year. I think when the going gets tough, they might not be able to really execute just because they're such a fresh, kind of like North Carolina. They're such a new team. They're struggling to execute because they haven't meshed. They haven't come together as a team, and so I could see that happening with Texas Tech. I could see them struggling this year or this game just because Houston is a pretty good team. And Connor Wegman is a formidable quarterback who has played in the SEC. He's playing in the Big 12. He's got big time experience. Give me Houston over Texas Tech. I wouldn't put money on it, but give me Houston versus over Texas Tech. So that's my upset pick
big
of the week.
time
Um, what do you guys think in the comments? Give me what you think about that. Houston over Texas Tech, Maryland over who are they playing again? Sorry.
over Washington.
Over Washington, that's right. What do y'all think? Shout us out in the comments. Love y'all when y'all comment on stuff. It's a good way to interact, and we could give some more content. So, anywho,
Mm-hmm.
moving on. Games of the week. I haven't been doing my graphics, and I'm sorry, just because I've been distracted. But here we go. Got my graphics going. There we go. Picks of
There
the
we go.
week. So, first pick of the week: Mississippi State versus Texas A&M. Will
Mm.
That this game is a 16.5 point spread for A&M in favor. A&M has got a 78.8% matchup predictor on ESPN to win this game. What do you think?
Yeah, going into the season, if you had asked me about this game, I think Texas A&M beats them by 40. Um, but even though I like how Texas A&M looking, man, Mississippi State has looked good this year. They've kind of come out and surprised a lot of people, me included. I think their quarterback's playing at a high level right now. They're running the ball efficiently enough to open up the pass game as well. Their defense is doing enough to keep the offense in games. I think this game's going to be really close. I think Mississippi State's going to give Texas A&M a run for their money, but in the end, for me, it's the 12th man. It's at Texas A&M. I think the 12th man in the fourth quarter kind of comes and takes over. I think Texas A&M wins by 10, and they pull away with that 10 in the fourth quarter. I think Mississippi State's an up and coming good team. They have a lot of promise, but Texas A&M is there and they have the talent. And at home, you just can't pick against Texas A&M with the 12th man. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, it's at home. If it was at Mississippi State, I might have a little bit of a bias
Mm-hmm.
towards the other direction. But A&M played really well last week. They're looking like a team to beat as of right now. 16.5 point favorite. It's at home. Marcel Reed's an experienced quarterback. Mississippi State is getting there. Um, they're just trying to figure out their way. They're still very young coach as well, and so I'm gonna take A&M. I think it's an easy pick for me. I
Yeah,
think A&M rolls in this one. Hopefully, by the time they get to us, though, we could be able to beat them and kind of crash their
yeah,
season. So last year,
I
I
like.
believe they were like 4 or 5-1 or 6-1, and then they lost four straight. So
Mm-hmm.
and we started that trend for them. So Carolina did. Anyways, give me A&M. I like the spread on that too as well. So moving on, number 9, Texas versus Florida, 5.5 point spread in Texas's favor. Texas is predicted 75.8% on ESPN's matchup predictor to win this game. I've heard a lot of rumblings. I've heard a lot of podcasts and sports analysts talk about this game as being one to watch. So, Will, tell me what you think about this.
Yeah, this game, I kind of joked around with people this week, but I think my joke has been I think the first team to kick a field goal may win this game. Is two very good defenses against two very not good, not very efficient offenses. I think both the quarterbacks have a ton of talent, but neither one of them have really displayed it so far. They both are making mental mistakes. They're getting out of their mechanics, and it's tough to lead a game like that. I like both the running games. I think I give a little bit of an edge to Texas in the playmaker department. Not to say that Florida doesn't have any, but I also think that Texas is a little bit more experienced with their playmakers. I think Florida holds it close. I think realistically, this is probably a 13-10, 17-14 type game. It's in the swamp, which makes it very tough to go this way. Earlier in the week, I thought I might be rolling with Justin. I really wanted to, but everything in my gut tells me that Texas has the more experienced team. So I'm going to have to roll with Texas because they've been there before. And I just don't trust
Yeah,
Lagway at all. He's too sloppy with the ball.
yeah. One of my favorite sports analysts, Josh Pate. Um, he has his own show on ESPN, and is highly renowned in that area as far as sports analysis, and just he has his own show he does, and he's real popular, and he has great input on a lot of things. And he actually picked Florida to win this game outright, and so he thinks Florida's going to go with a very heavy run offense and just kind of kill the clock and let their defense really stop Texas, and that's how they win this game. Very non. What do you say? Big, not very many big plays, not very many, um, you know, fancy things. What's the same? Florida's a lot like John Riss elf costume. They're an empty shell. Yeah, possibly so. Um, Not much going on. with the Florida's quarterback, at least. I think their defense is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to go with Texas. I think Texas has still got the advantage with playmakers, and I do want to agree. I do want to agree with you, Justin. I do think Florida has a really good defense, and I think they have a really good running game, and I think they stick to that. They might could win this game for sure, but I think Texas has too many players in the bag. What I mean by that is they paid for
Mm,
too many players to come there and to perform. And so I
yeah.
think they just got those 5 stars and they got a lot of them. And so at the end of the day, sometimes those games are decided with those players that just got the extra edge. And so I'm going to take Texas in a close one for sure. It's in the swamp. Arch hasn't been the quarterback we thought he was going to be. It's going to be close. But yeah, I'm going to take Texas in a close one. I think um, it could be a great game. Could be decided in Florida's favor. Could be a possession game, which 5.5 point spread. That's pretty much a possession. So,
Hmm.
yeah, give me Texas. But moving
I just think
on, we got yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. So,
I was just gonna say I just think Arch Manning has the better potential to hit a couple deep balls to put Texas in a better position.
yeah,
And but I do think you're right. Like what Josh said, what you said, what Justin said. Like they're gonna have to run the ball. Florida is to win this game. They're gonna have to take chunks out of the way. They're gonna have to be mean and on the ground. Arch can't throw very well, but he has shown that he can at least hit a couple passes in a game where Lagway has not. I think Lagway has to use his legs. He has to trust his running back, and they're going to have to lean on the defense. That's the only way they win this game. But I think it's possible. But I just think Texas is going to be too much this week.
yeah. I mean, if Florida got smart and decided to run the old school West Coast
Mm-hmm.
triple option offense that Georgia Tech used to run, Lagway's got capable legs. They got a good running back. He could potentially throw it 6 or 7 times a game and win the game. Georgia Tech used to be the king of that offense. And so if they
Mm-hmm.
got smart, that's the offense they would run. And they could probably run it pretty well. So triple option, get outside, maybe throw a pass once every 10 tries, but just grind and pound the football. That's what you got to do. And we'll see what happens. So anyways, moving on. This is one of my favorite games of the week. Miami
Mm-hmm.
versus Florida State. Miami is the number 3 team in the nation. Florida State's number 18. 4.5 point spread in favor of Miami. ESPN has a 65.3% matchup predictor going in the favor of Miami. I don't know. It's a close game. I think I picked Florida State to win the ACC this year. So we'll see what happens. Will, what you got?
Yeah, I think this will be a great game. Honestly, I think the reason it's going to be a great game is because it's at Florida State. I think if it's at Miami, Miami probably gets the best of them a little bit. I was coming around on Florida State after they beat Bama. They played well, and then they go to Virginia last week. And I mean, I know sometimes you get caught in a trap game, but I think it just kind of showed me. It took me back to how I felt about Castellanos and just how he's not very a consistent quarterback week to week. He's either going to be really good or he's going to have moments where he's not the guy that you can put out there and want to shoulder a win on. Like he's not going to go out and win you a game. You have to be really good around him. And I think this week Miami's defense is much improved. I think they're going to be able to take away some of his options. And I think Miami's running game really takes over this week. I love Fletcher, the running back for Miami. He is a very skilled runner. He can hit the gaps when he needs to, but he can also run you over. He's good in space. I think he's the difference maker this week. And, Beck is not like a top tier quarterback, I feel, but he is a good game manager. And you got to give him that. I think he leads them very well. And so I'm going to take Miami by probably like 10, 13. So give me Miami.
All right. Yeah, I see you there. I see you there. On the other hand, it's Florida State. It's at home. Florida State beat Alabama. we can say right now that Alabama is arguably one of the better teams in the nation. They beat Georgia last week, had a first game hiccup, or just a young quarterback who's never started the game. You know, first season of the season jitters, first game jitters, whatever. But they've really come around. I think I'm gonna go with Florida State on this one. I'm gonna take Florida State.
Wow.
It's at home. I think they rebound from last week. I think as far as the coaches, I'm gonna allow this game to be decided by the coaching. I think Florida State's coach. I'm drawing a blank. Help me out. What's his name? Came from
Oh,
Memphis. What's his?
yeah.
Uh, Gosh, I can't think of his name. Anyways, I think Florida State's coach
Thinking of
is a
Cristobal.
better coach than Cristobal. When Cristobal gets to these big time games, he doesn't do well. Remember last year where,
Mike Norvell.
well,
Sorry,
yeah,
came to me.
Norvell, yes, Norvell. Remember last year there was a game that may have been Georgia Tech to where they
It
blew the
was.
game because of missed calls, missed timeouts, like something of that nature. I think in this game, I'm going to take it on coaching. And for me, I'm going to take Florida State. I think Norvell's a better coach. He went 2-10 last year and was able to instill in his program that there's still hope. There's still something to fight for. He turned the team around and got a lot of players out of the portal. I think they just had a weird weekend last weekend and just got the best of them. So give me Norvell. Give me Florida State. I'm a big fan of Deuce Robinson. He's a playmaker. Castellanos, maybe not so much. He is very wishy washy, but Deuce Robinson's a playmaker. Give me Florida State in the spread. Very close game. I think Miami is a good team, but I think it comes down to coaching. So give me Florida State.
Mhm. I like it. Good pick.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So my boys, I told them today, John, Zach, and Tyler, I was going to pick Miami, but I was just kidding. I was going to pick Florida State. So
Definitely.
Tyler's brother actually played for Florida State and was on the national championship team with Jameis Winston. So kind of cool.
Wow.
So Tyler's brother has a natty ring. So really cool.
What a story.
Yep, and John's dad played for Florida State, so a lot of ties with Florida State there. Anyways, moving on. Game of the week. Probably going to be one of the top games of the year. Going to go ahead and throw that out there.
Wow.
Vandy versus Alabama. Number 16 Vandy versus number 10 Alabama. 11.5 point spread in favor of Alabama. ESPN has Alabama predicted to win by 74.3%. I beg to differ, but what do you think, Will?
Yeah, I think this game is really a toss up for me because I think if Alabama's defense shows up, it's not even close. And that's really the one problem they had against Florida State was their defense didn't show up. They were wishy washy. They didn't tackle well. They didn't look like they wanted to be there, but they've looked good ever since. I think if the defense shows up, Vanderbilt is not as good offensively as we all would like to give them credit for. Not to say they're not talented, they're not good. I think if they run into a good defense, they could run into some problems. Ty Simpson proved me wrong last week and showed that he can lead the team well. I just like Alabama right now. I think they're getting it together. They're starting to put it down a little bit. And I think this is where maybe Vanderbilt starts to fall apart a little bit. I think you get them a little rattled, get them on the ropes a little bit, and they'll fall. They'll crumble because they're not used to having to be in the spotlight, having to be the team, going 5-0, 6-0. So I think DeBoer's got the boys ready to play. I think they're, again, one of the better teams in the nation. And I think that this is just the end of Vandy's run. Give me Bama, I think. I'm going to say the defense shows up. Give me Bama big. I'm going to go maybe about 14, 17 points.
All right.
Roll.
All right.
Shout out to my boy
Yeah.
Chip.
I'm going to go against the norm. I'm going to take Vandy. I
Wow.
think, and I know it's a weird call, and I know I should probably never pick this pick, but I think at the end of the day, the sheer will of Diego Pavia is going to be difference in this game. The guy has everything going against him. He doesn't have the height. He doesn't have the arm strength. He's kind of fast. He's not terribly fast. He's not stellish fast. But the dude comes out. I'm with Matt. The dude comes out and just literally just balls. And I think that's what Diego Pavia does best is he wants it more than anybody else on that football field. And it shows from week to week because if you look at him on paper, you would have never expect this guy to even be a quarterback. He'd be more of a cornerback or a safety or something like that. But the dude is just balling out. And I think he just has that drive, that motivation, that Johnny Manziel factor, that Baker Mayfield factor, that small guy, but the sheer will to win is more powerful. And I think he has such a huge influence on his football team. He is the leader of the clubhouse. He goes in there and he gets those guys going. I'm with Matt. Diego cements his legacy. He becomes a hero, and he wins his football game. He called it last year. He's calling it this year. He beat the snot out of Carolina. We didn't think that was possible, but he beat the
some of that was
snot out of us. I agree. But I think Pavia cements his legacy, like Matt is saying. I think he comes in there and just really just plays ball. And I think his team rallies around him. Now, the difference is the talent. Alabama has the talent. They have the 4 stars, the 5 stars. They have those guys all over. Whereas Vandy, slim pickings. They might have a 4-star. I doubt they have a 5-star. I don't know if that tight end is a 5-star or not. He's a baller, but don't know.
He was a 3-star coming into college.
Yeah, he's a baller. But I think give me Vandy. I love it. I would love to see Vandy go to the SEC championship and just roll
Absolutely.
through the SEC. So I'm tired of seeing the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Tennessees and the usual suspects. I want to see it different. I want to see Vandy get up there. I want to see Carolina. I want to see a Kentucky. I want to see a Mizzou or Mississippi State. Give me somebody different. I'm tired of seeing the same teams over and over because it goes to show you it's not about the coach or the program. It's about how much money you have and how much influence you have to get them to come join your program. And that irks me on the inside. So give me Vandy. Probably not a great pick, but give me Vandy to win this game. It's going to be a close one. I'm saying a field goal at the most. So I'm going to go against the norm. I'm going to go that route. Tell us what you think, guys, in the comments. How do you feel? Obviously, Matt McGowan's on my side, my boy from college. But who else? What do y'all think?
Justin Doan's on your side.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that. Vandy, a close one. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, let me throw that up there. Vandy is a close one.
I'm used to being the lone wolf. Hey, it's worked well for me this year. Usually when I'm the only one picking on one side, I'm right. So I love when I'm the only one on that side of the pick, so keep it coming. Everybody pick against me. I love being the underdog. Well, I'm not the underdog.
Well, listen,
team, but
if I'm gonna gain any traction on this season's record, I gotta pick some different games. So this is how I'm gonna do it. So
and you're gonna have to start taking some risks to catch because
I gotta take some risks. I gotta take some risks. So anything else? Will, you got any closing comments before we head out of here?
Man, just looking forward to a great weekend of college football. Going to be getting together with some of the guys at one of my buddies' houses and just eating pizza, watching the game, hanging out. I think it'll be a fun week, not having the stress or anything since Carolina's not playing. Can kind of just enjoy the college football landscape without worrying about my team and just enjoy it. I'm sorry the video quality of my picture on my screen isn't that great this week. Currently living with my parents while we wait to move into our new place here. So my room doesn't have great lighting, but kind of at a slim pickings. But we'll improve it once I get moved.
Well, what you got as far as our current standings? Have you done the last week yet?
Standings. I have not updated since last week. Before last week, I was Um, I was like 6 or 7 picks better than you, and all what 13 picks better than Logan or something like that. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't do that
good
to come at you guys
gracious.
or to grade you or anything, but
Oh no,
that's what I
it
had it
is
at.
what it is.
I'll
I
upgrade
think
them.
last year I won last year because I picked Kentucky over Louisville or something like that. Kentucky came in big for me, and I ended up winning
Yeah,
last year by a game because I think me and you were tied or something like that,
yeah.
or me and
Well, hey,
Logan or
I'll
somebody.
tell you what. Just for Matt, after we get off the stream, I will go back and update the rankings and I will post them in the comments on Facebook after this so everybody can see. I will get that done for you guys right after the stream.
I don't think much should have changed from last week because I don't think there was any games that were weird. I don't
I
know.
think I gained a couple more after last week cuz
Who would I have picked that was
y'all picked USC over Illinois number 1.
That's true.
Y'all
That's true. This
picked
is true.
I, I'm pretty sure we kicked 2 or 3 games differently last week, and I won pretty much all of those. So
Utah, Texas Tech, was that last week?
it wasn't, but that was the week before that I got that one right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trying to think about which games we picked last week. Uh,
We'll figure it out. We'll get it updated and we'll let everybody know.
Actually, I think
I gotta make up some ground.
you might have made up some ground last week because didn't you pick Ole Miss? No, you picked LSU.
I picked
You
LSU. I
picked
always pick
Oregon
LSU.
though. You
I
picked
did pick
Oregon
Oregon.
over Penn State. I went Penn State, so you got
100%.
there. But you did pick Auburn to beat Texas A&M, and that one did not get
I
you any.
did. I
So
did. It was close. It was close.
it was close.
Was that
But hey,
was that my upset pick of the week? I think so.
it might have been,
Or
yeah.
do we call that game? I can't remember.
But I'll put the updated standings right after the stream in the comments on Facebook. So if you want to see those, stick around on Facebook just for a minute while I update it, do the math, and I'll post them from my personal account underneath the video after the stream within 5 to 10 minutes. So just give that a check.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, love it. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. The comments are cool. We love to see your
Appreciate you
interactions
guys.
and see what you're thinking as well. Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Remember, like, comment, share. We're on all platforms: Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Got the
At least the
podcast
ones that are
now.
most. We got the podcast on Spotify, so check us out. Anyways, we're keeping it going. Till next time, guys. We'll see you later. Have a good weekend. Go Gamecocks.